Hello, my name is Crystal Chibu and I'm your Hope Catalyst, and you're welcome to the Hopegrill, where we teach, infuse and experience hope. Jewels are found in the strangest of places, and sometimes the greatest legends might be hanging around somewhere. My guest today on the grill is a UN ambassador. He's a degree holder, a master's degree holder, an exceptional student. And when we go into his story, you will understand why, for me, it's important where he has been and what he's doing today with his life. You're welcome to the grill, Mohammed.
Thank you very much, Crystal.
Did I pronounce it very well? Is it Mohammed or?
Mohammed.
You're welcome to
Thank
the
you
grill.
very much.
And thank you for coming.
You're welcome.
So tell me, your story is interesting. You lived in an uncompleted building.
Yeah.
You started like really from the slums.
Yes, I did.
What changed?
Well, what changed was my mind. And so let me start from the beginning. I'm from Borno State, where education was very, almost irrelevant. Most people don't believe in Western education, and they just believe when you have a child, if it's a girl, you train her to some certain age, you marry her off, and if it's a guy, it's a boy, you just train him to some certain level, put him in an Ahmadiyya school to become maybe an imam, a malam. But some things happened in 1995, 1996, toward the end of 1995. My mom was going for Hajj. To her, that was a priority. She took almost all her savings and was preparing to go for Hajj. And so she took me to the village to give me to this Malam guy to train me as an Ahmadiyya. But unfortunately, fortunately for me, he told her that he already has too many children under him, and so he can't take more. And so my maternal grandmother is from Chad, and so she was like, you know what, I can drop him with grandma. She'll take or sort him out and drop him with one other Malam guy, because she can't leave him, she can't leave me with my dad. And when we got to Chad, the man they took me to looked at me and said, this boy is too spoiled, I can't take care of him.
Wow. Because
the Ahmadiyya system is you fend for yourself. They just give you a plate, few clothes, drop you with one guy. In the morning, you wake up in the morning, you look for food. In the afternoon, you look for food. You come back, you read, memorize the Quran, and you do that in the evening. And the same cycle goes every day till you finish memorizing the Quran. And then they do this thing like a graduation where you just handed, the title of being a graduate of Islamic study, and you go and set up your life anywhere, pitch your tent anywhere. So when that didn't happen, my mom brought me back to my father. My father was a gate man somewhere in Magodo, was taking care of the uncompleted buildings, illiterate, mother illiterate. My mom was a petty trader. My father was in the army at some point.
But that's interesting. Your father, gate man.
Yes.
Your mom was going for Hajj.
Yes, because she used all her savings, like everything she had. From all her sales, from all her businesses, other businesses,
wow.
Packed all the wealth, and to her that was priority. You don't have to train your child to go to school. And so while I was home, my dad changed his mind and said, you know what, maybe this guy can go to school since he's my only son and nobody else in the family has gone to school. So he tried his best. He put me in school. I was there for like almost a year, but he couldn't continue paying the school fees, and so I was home. And then he said, you know what, we can do this since it was just you and I living together. Your mom is not around. Because when my mom went for Hajj, she decided to also stay for like 2-3 years to work.
Wow.
And probably just bring something back when she's coming. So I'll work, do some things, go to the farm with my dad, save some money, pay for like a term, go to school. If the money is exhausted, I stay at home, and so the circle continues. And then something happened in 2008 when my neighbor saw me during school hours selling cigarettes to a passerby. And then he called me and said, "Young man, why are you not in school?" I said, my father couldn't afford to pay my school fees, and so I have to stay home for a year to, try to hog, farm, do little things, and then raise money with my father, and then he'll be able to send me to school. And he said I should call my father. And then my father met him and he said, "You know what, I can help this boy. I will send him to school." But sometimes people don't just believe.
Yeah,
like I want to help. He had that heart to
to help.
To help, but at the same time, this boy I'm helping, will he do well in school? Is he brilliant? Will he go and disappoint me?
Yeah.
And so he just wanted to just give it a trial, and he took me to a private school but near the house, and said, "You know what, the headmaster, can you do something about this? This is how much I have. Let's see how we can help this young man." And so
was this back in Borno? Or
no, in Lagos, in Magodo.
In Magodo.
Yeah. And then while I was in school, I did my best to impress the angel that came to my life. And it got to a point when my principal called me to his office one day and said, "You know what? The reason why everybody is trying to help you, and sometimes this man trying to also pay your school fees won't pay on time and I'll still let you come to school, is because I believe you're a very good student and I believe you have so much in you. And I want you to understand that the more you show yourself to the world that you have something to give, the more helpers will come to your life." I took that in and I decided to work harder. So from second, third in class, I was first. Wow. I did that throughout primary school, and then I got admission into King's College. My first orientation in King's College, the guardian and counselor lady said, "If you are the best student in JS1 and JS2, you'll be able to get this PTA scholarship."
In JSS3?
In JSS3, and then it can go all the way as far as you maintain those records till you finish. So I tried my best. I was working hard. JS1, I was working hard. JS2, sometimes the person helping to pay my school fees won't have time to go to the bank to pay, because you have to raise a bank draft and all that. So I might not pay first day, second day, but trust me, my teachers are not having it. So they'll tell you to kneel down under the tree because they haven't paid your school fees.
Wow.
We had this bat that's we wear white on white, and they have this bat that will, mess your uniform up, but that's part of your punishment. And so all these things, instead of bringing my morale down, I looked at them as, challenges I need to conquer. There are problems in front of me that I need to solve. So I have to be there, I have to be the best. And so I was able to achieve that, and I got a scholarship till the end of my secondary school.
Hold that thought, Mohammed.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. We'll just go for a break.
Thank you very much.
Welcome back. So, Mohammed, you literally have been through so much. Did all of these things, create any feelings of inadequacy? How did people receive you? I mean, your friends in school, did they know where you were living? How did they react to all of that?
Okay, so along the way, I had some challenges playing with friends, talking with my neighbors, because their parents won't let them come out to play with me while growing up. They'll be like, this guy is not going to school, he's an illiterate, his parents are this and that, don't play with him. Sometimes I go to their houses and their mothers will say, "You know what, the kids are not around, or they're busy, they can't see you," and stuff like that. But I never saw that at the bad side. I saw that as a challenge. The reason why they were looking down on me then was because they didn't see anything good in me. And so I had to, like, build that confidence.
Did you think you had to be proving yourself? Did you feel that way?
I have to, like, prove myself all the time till today.
Wow.
So, like, most of the time, just people don't know me, just hear probably my name, find out that I'm from the north, and they just believe, oh, this guy is...
There's nothing good.
Nothing good, or they will just probably conclude and give me a different kind of personality.
So how did you go from King's College to someone that now has a master's degree?
So from King's College, my mom came along the way, and when she got back, well, she accepted the new reality, and she was grateful for what happened. And as a religious person, she thought, or she believed that God led me into that path. And so she kept encouraging me. From King's College, I wanted to study medicine, and while struggling to enter Unilag, I didn't write JAMB for the first year. And the reason was because in my SS3, I found out that medicine wasn't for me. I didn't have good counselors to tell me what course to do. And all my friends wanted to do law, medicine, engineering, or accounting, and I chose to be a doctor. But in SS2, I interacted with some doctors and found out that what they do was nothing that I had in mind to do. And I never wanted to be in a place where people would be sick, blood everywhere, So it took me like a year to stay home and, think of what I was going to do. So I wrote JAMB. I entered my first trial into Unilag. I put in economics. I didn't get economics. Unilag advised me to take urban and regional planning, some series of courses. I picked urban and regional planning. I didn't know anything about it. I studied it because at that point, I clearly know that anything I need to do in life, I have to be the best at it. I have to prove myself that this young man from Borno has something to offer.
Wow.
And so it was always, me coming out to prove myself to the world that I am good enough. And so I did that. I graduated the first class. And
wow.
The department never graduated the best in the faculty. I also tried to achieve that. The school retained me to lecture. Before then, I got an internship with the United Nations, and I was posted to Kenya. Working under UN Habitat for like 7 months changed my whole orientation about everything. And coming back, it was very hard for me to fit in, because the same planning I was taught while doing my internship was something way different from what I was taught back home. But I tried myself to be, try my best to be humble and, get the first class, get all the degrees, awards. And then I started my master's. I graduated last year with, a distinction too, and applied for a PhD, got a fellowship in Hong Kong, which I'm currently doing.
So how, in all of this, when your dad looks at you, how does he feel?
When my dad looks at me, he feels grateful to God, because they now both believe that it's God that led me to do all these things, to achieve all these things. But my greatest regret is, till tomorrow, it's very hard for me to tell my parents what degree I studied, what I'm doing for a living. Because what will you tell someone that doesn't know what urban and regional planning is, that you're doing urban and regional planning? So sometimes even closer, or better for me to tell him, I'm building houses, than I'm designing cities, I'm solving the problem of the city, the slum areas, and etc. But then, as far as I'm taking care of my parents, I'm paying their rent, paying their bills, taking care of everything, and encouraging my, siblings and my 2 elder sisters to send their children to school, supporting them, and not just my nuclear family, extended family as well. Because I believe that we are very few in the whole extended family that are educated to this level. And I believe if we don't educate these younger ones coming, the next generation after my generation, then they become responsibility of my own generation, the few of us who are educated. And their children will end up being the responsibility of my own children. And so why not just solve the problem now, make sure these people go to school, take care of their next generation as well, and then there'll be a generational change in that whole
So
extended
as a UN
family.
ambassador, is there something you're doing with respect to education in Borno or something?
No, so in 2013, after my internship, I came back home, and then after my BSc, I was given a consultancy job with the United Nations. And then UN Habitat, the United Nations program for human settlement, nominated me as an ambassador for Nigeria to work on the SDGs, the new urban agenda, and so many other stuff, because they believe sometimes when they have programs in Nigeria, it's better to talk to some focal points in Nigeria rather than come themselves to like do the work themselves in Nigeria. And so I've been on that for like...
How does that make you feel? I mean, look back at that boy that should have been in Chad or with some imam, you know, going, and now the person that you have become, how does that make you feel?
Wow, makes me satisfied, but I haven't even started the journey. Well, for now, I'm just consulting for the United Nations alongside my lecturer in the University of Lagos, and I'm ambassador, but I can be better than that.
So there's somebody out there, you know, listening to you, and probably a parent, probably a child that has given up on going to school, or, you know, not knowing what next to do with their life. What would you be telling such a person?
Well, the first thing is never believe that someone out there is there to support you. Like, nobody owes you anything. You came to this world alone. You are going alone. So while living on earth, just know that you are there alone. So don't say, you know what, my uncle is meant to pay my school fees, he didn't pay my school fees. Despite the fact that people were paying my school fees, I had scholarship, I still had to, like, you know, hustle by the side to, like, you know, fend for myself. I don't have to rely on anybody. That's one. Another thing is, anything you do, make sure you are, you know, the best at it. And make sure you keep being better than your past. So most people, I met so many people in my young people in my life who want to always compete with me, and they were like, you know what, Mohammed, next term or next semester, I'm going to beat your records, or I'm going to get this number of A's. I just keep quiet and smile, because as they are aiming to beat probably my 9 A's, I'm aiming to get 10 A's this new semester. And so they never caught up with me till I graduated.
Wow.
So believe in yourself. Nobody owes you anything. Be the best at what you do.
Thank you so very much for coming to the grill. I mean, I've been so inspired myself.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much for coming to the grill.
Thank you for the opportunity.
And I know so many people out there will do something about their lives. We have a little gift for you.
Thank you very much.
And I must say, you're a very passionate person.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Right.
Don't go anywhere.
Thank you for the
We'll be right
opportunity.
back. Ask the grill. All my life, I have dreamt of becoming a medical doctor, and I have written JAMB 4 times, all without success. I was recently given admission to study chemistry, but that's not what I desire. My parents insist I go for it. I am not happy with the course, but I don't know what else to do. I don't want to give up my dream. My dear, you are not giving up on your dream. I think the first thing you need to do, like, you already have the dream to become a medical doctor. You're convinced of it. You have made up your mind to work on that. Yes, you know, keep that dream alive and don't ever give it up. However, you have chemistry. I think you should focus and just get busy. doing that chemistry, get into the system, studying a course. If you remember today, our guest on the show wanted to be a doctor at some point, then at some point he wanted to study economics, but he had to do urban and regional planning. And guess what? That literally gave him a new lease of life, and he's learned so many things out of it. I studied biochemistry in school, and then when I finished studying biochemistry, I wanted to be a medical doctor, then I studied biochemistry. Then when I got my first job, I was given job as a sales executive. Trust me, I think the best thing I've done with my life is selling, because everything I do today is sell. I help people understand why they should give prosthetic limbs to children. So it's important for us to just take advantage of whatever we have today while we keep our dream alive. And I hope that has helped somebody out there. Just make sure that you send your questions to ask at the Hopegrill if you have any questions. Quote of the week. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings in the tune without the words and never stops at all. I hope you've enjoyed spending time with us on the Hopegrill. I've had an amazing time with Mohammed, and I know you must have had an amazing time too. I don't want you to give up on any dream. I don't want you to look at the background that you have or whatever seemed to want to keep you down. I just want you to continue to be hope. I want you to do hope to yourself and give hope to someone else. Thank you.